How's it going, everybody? And welcome to Just Nobody's Podcast. I'm your host, Ryan.
And I'm your host, Daniel.
And today we're doing a podcast.
Woo!
If you're new to the channel, please smash the subscribe button and also hit the like button and comment your thoughts on this podcast or any kind of topic that you guys want us to talk about. Let us know in the comments and we will talk about it next week. So without further ado, let's get into the podcast.
Yeah, today we are breaking down the new Fantastic Four trailer and all the theories you guys sent in and what it means for Doomsday, Secret Wars, and possibly Spider-Man.
And we're also going to be talking about the movie Sinners, some theories about that, along with The Last of Us.
Yes.
And a little bit of Andor Season 2. So without further ado, we'll get right into it.
Okay, so one of the biggest things to take away from the Fantastic Four trailer was the Silver Surfer. Now, a lot of people are confused. Why is the Silver Surfer female? There's also female Silver Surfers in the comics, if you did not know that.
Yes.
There are actually two different ones. So there's Shala Bal, which is actually the one that's in the trailer, but there's also another one named Juno. So Shala Bal is actually the love interest to Norrin Rad. So Norrin Rad is somewhere possibly in this universe, or in this universe, it's just Shala Bal, and we're going to see Norrin Rad in an alternate universe sometime in the future. Because we know that Norrin Rad was possibly casted already.
Right. Probably has. To be honest, like, it's almost probably a lock.
Right.
It's not. That's going to be a reveal.
Yeah, so Shala Bal, she takes over as the Herald to Galactus, but it's because Silver Surfer gives her part of his power. So it's not like Shala Bal was originally just the only Herald to Galactus. Norrin Rad did give her power. But I think what they're going for in this Fantastic Four is that Shala Bal is the only Herald to Galactus. Because there is a scene in like the trailer where she's like kind of rising out of a forge.
Yeah.
And it looks like people are speculating that it could be in Galactus's ship where he's creating her, like giving her the power to be the Herald.
That makes sense.
The other one is Juno. Now, Juno was actually just straight up the Silver Surfer in an alternate universe. It wasn't like there was a Norrin Rad or a Shala Bal. It was just Juno. Now, it's been confirmed that it is Shala Bal in the trailer. So Juno's just out the window, but I thought I'd throw that in there just to like put it out there.
Yeah.
But do you think that in this Fantastic Four movie, will Shala Bal or the Silver Surfer turn on Galactus like we saw in like the previous Fantastic Four? Because it doesn't seem that way.
It's hard to say.
Yeah.
And there's a part of me that feels like the Silver Surfer that we're seeing
Uh-huh.
is only going to be in the movie for like 10 to 15 minutes.
Oh.
Like, I really think that there's still so much to the movie that we haven't seen.
Right.
That all the stuff that we're seeing in the trailer maybe is within the first 20 minutes. Maybe it's kind of like a No Way Home situation.
Right.
Where the footage that's being shown are like Multiverse of Madness, where it's just kind of like the beginning.
Yeah. And that kind of leads into my other question. Do you think Galactus is going to be like the big battle of this movie? Or is that going to be like in the middle of the movie and then we're going to start to see more Doom playing behind the scenes type of thing?
It's tough because I feel like the Galactus fight, I just don't see them having it be like the main focus.
Right.
Because if Marvel kind of follows their trend in the trailers,
Yeah.
you're not going to show your big bad villain
Exactly.
like, on such a movie with like so much potential. Like,
I totally get what you're saying because they're showing like a lot of Galactus, but like, is it going to be just Galactus if they're showing so much of him? I mean, to get like his like head looking over the city and like him stomping through the city, I mean, that's a good amount of Galactus to get in a trailer, I feel like.
Yeah.
So it almost seems like Galactus isn't the only one.
No.
Another thing I wanted to talk about is that we are definitely not getting an origin story in this movie.
Yeah.
So like we see like in the trailer, it kind of just like their origin story kind of just plays on a TV like as an ad for the Fantastic Four. It's not like this whole like we're going to go through this like 30-minute, 45-minute origin story for Fantastic Four. We already know it. And that's like one of the best parts of this movie. It's going to be like I think the theater that they're in for like that one talk show.
Like the Ed Sullivan
It's like the Ed Sullivan look-alike. I think they're like celebrating 4 years of Fantastic Four. So like they've been around for 4 years now. And then I think in the trailer too, like we see them running out of that theater and they're like going out to save something. So that's probably like the opening part of the movie. Another theory that I want to talk about was, and we talked about this on TikTok, but Franklin Richards. Now, Franklin Richards is going to play a big role in this movie, as the theory goes. Okay. So Sue Storm, we know, is pregnant.
Yes.
And in the trailer, it does look like she gives birth. In the trailer, we see them go to space in their Fantastic Four suits.
Yeah.
And it seems like she's kind of like going through something. Like she could be giving birth because her powers are like fluctuating and like Reed Richards is like with her. It kind of insinuates that she is giving birth. And then later in the film, we see like when the Fantastic Four is talking to the press, all the Fantastic Four members are in their suits except for Sue. As if like Sue's kind of taking a break because she's taking care of Franklin.
Right. And we know that there is set photos of Sue Storm holding a baby.
Okay. So, yeah, that confirms that Franklin Richards will be born in this movie. But Franklin Richards, if you guys don't know, he's supposed to be one of the most powerful characters in all of Marvel.
Yeah.
Like, what he's able to do, he's able to create pocket universes, like literal universes with his powers. So it makes sense that Galactus would be after Franklin Richards, and that's why their Earth is a target, because he wants Franklin Richards for his powers, because obviously Galactus eats universes.
Right.
So Franklin Richards would be a pretty good person to have on his team. So that could be why he is actually targeting this Earth, and it's all about Franklin Richards. And when you think about it, the whole movie is called Fantastic Four First Steps.
Yes.
What's the milestone for a baby? It's first steps, right? So it's going to be really focused on Franklin Richards, because Franklin Richards actually plays a big part in Secret Wars in the comics.
Yeah.
So it completely makes sense that this movie will be focused on the powers of Franklin Richards.
It makes sense.
So this is another theory we talked about on TikTok, but we see in the trailer that there is an Earth being destroyed.
Yes.
And now a lot of people are speculating what this could be, because when you think about it, if they're showing this and we're all getting this feeling that, okay, the Fantastic Four are for sure going to lose, right? They're literally showing the losing moment in the trailer, which would be crazy, right? It's not like in Infinity War, we saw like the losing like aspect of it. Like we knew there was going to be like a lot, like possibly some deaths.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't see like the snap or anything like that, but we're seeing a literal Earth being exploded. So a lot of people are speculating that, yes, this could be the ending of it, and they're like, or the ending, quote unquote, that we think is going to happen.
Yeah.
Or it could be like this whole like dream sequence of Reed Richards, and he's kind of like worrying about what could Galactus do to this Earth.
Yeah.
But it also could be Reed Richards figuring out multiversal travel, and he's going to different universes to see what Galactus has done. And that's just an Earth that Galactus has taken a bite out of.
Right.
So that could be a possibility. Another theory that's relating to this Earth is that this is their Earth being destroyed, and Reed Richards actually took everyone off, like took him and the Fantastic Four off of the planet because he knew like there was just not enough time. We even see him say that in the trailer. He doesn't know if the people are safe. He knows there's not enough time, right? And then we also see a scene where it looks like Sue is in a spaceship and she's crying, looking out the window. So it's almost like she's looking back at her Earth crumbling.
Right. And did you mention how like the people asked Reed, like, are we going to be safe?
Yeah. And he says,
goes, I don't know.
Right. So it kind of sets this like story arc for Reed Richards that he's going to prioritize his family over everything. Because we know this movie's heavily about family. Like Sue's like, we're going to do it as a family. Right. But no, it could be that Reed is going to just be like, I'm taking my family out of here.
Yeah.
And he's going to protect Franklin and Sue at all costs. Because we even see in the trailer, Reed is asked by the people, are we safe?
Yeah.
Johnny and Ben kind of look at Reed like kind of worried, as if they know he's hiding something. But they don't show Sue's reaction.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost like they know something that Sue doesn't. And because Sue wants to fight, it seems like. Like Sue's like, we're going to fight together. We're going to fight as a family.
Right.
But Reed is going to be the one to pull her out of there. And Reed's going to have to live with the guilt that he left everyone behind, but Sue wanted to fight. So that could kind of create this disconnect in the Fantastic Four, and also a disconnect where Doom could fit in.
Right. I 100% agree. I think that's probably the most plausible outcome of this movie. Moving forward, I think that Mr. Fantastic, when Doomsday and Secret Wars comes around, there's going to be a moment where he's going to have this guilt of leaving the world behind, knowing that his wife wanted to fight. His wife's going to resent him because she wanted to fight. He didn't want to fight. So I think there's going to be a redeeming moment sometime during Doomsday or Secret Wars where Reed's going to take the fight to Doom, or take the fight to the person to save the people.
Right.
I think that could possibly happen.
It's just building this whole story arc for Reed Richards, because we know Secret Wars is pretty much kind of Reed Richards versus Doctor Doom.
Right.
So we're going to need to see like a big arc for Reed Richards that's going to pay off in Doomsday and Secret Wars. Moving on to movie news though. So we talked about last week that Anthony Mackie did say like it's going to feel like an old Avengers movie. Like Doomsday's going to feel like an old Avengers movie. But he also said that no one is safe and everyone is expendable. Now, does this mean that there's going to be a lot of permanent deaths? Probably. Because when you really think about it, if Doomsday isn't like this huge multiversal movie and it's just going to be Avengers, X-Men, and Fantastic Four, we're definitely going to see people die off in Doomsday, but we're going to see other variants in Secret Wars. Because if they're going the whole Battle World route, we're going to have to see other variants in Battle World, because that's just what Battle World is. All these universes combined into one. So people could die, yes. Like the actors we know that play these characters, they could be gone permanently after Doomsday. But that doesn't mean we're going to see another like Thor come in Secret Wars. You know what I mean? Like Chris Hemsworth, this is just an example, could die in Doomsday. But that doesn't mean Secret Wars, they're going to bring another Thor into the story. Because we know in Battle World, there's like an army of Thors, there's an army of Hulks, right? There's multiple variants of each person. So it makes sense that, yes, some of these actors will be done in Doomsday, but a lot of new people could be coming in Secret Wars.
I mean, there's going to probably be some crazy deaths, right? We're going to see them again, like in Secret Wars. I don't like as a variant or another character.
Yeah, a lot of deaths are going to happen, but we're going to get a lot of people back in Secret Wars 2. Moving on to The Last of Us Episode 2.
Yes.
Guys, I will admit that I was completely wrong. I did not think they were going to do it this early.
I also thought they weren't going to do it. I thought that maybe at the end of the season we were going to see Joel's death, but I really thought that not the second episode, not on Easter Sunday, that we were going to see this. I did see an interview with Pedro Pascal, and this interview was filmed before the release of episode 2, but released after episode 2. And he was saying how when he signed on, even before they had a script, or maybe they had a script at the time, but they didn't start filming season 1 yet.
Okay.
That he knew, they said, hey, look, you're going to have season 1. You're going to go all out for season 1. Season 2 comes around on episode 2. You're going to die. So he knew that in order to sign on to this role, he told them, you have to make sure that Joel dies still. Joel has to die. And they said, sure, he's going to die. And he's going to die in episode 2.
Wow.
So Pedro has known this was going to happen. And the show, the way they developed the show, they knew that going into this, hey, look, we're going to have Pedro for one season. Season 2 comes around. We're going to pivot and let the story play out how the second game goes.
Right. Wow.
So now I think it's going to be really interesting because people are going to have to decide, am I going to keep watching the show?
Yeah.
Now, there's still a lot of great story to tell, right? As we know, The Last of Us 2, the video game, there's a lot of hated characters, right? But I do think there's subtle changes that they made in season 2 that was interesting, how Jackson was invaded by the infected. We see Tommy fight the bloater. And I think Tommy, he is going to be really interesting to see how his character plays out in season 2.
Right.
And I really am invested still, and I think people should still give the show a chance and, watch it because you never know what changes they make to the new season.
Yeah. Because when you also watch the episode, it's kind of like they had people in different places than they did in the game. So Ellie and Dina were supposed to be together, but Dina was with Joel. And then Tommy, I think, was supposed to be with Joel. And Tommy, we saw, was obviously handling Jackson. So it's all kind of like, okay, where are they going to go? It seems like they're just going to put different people in different situations. So it's like, is Tommy going to be the one to go out and hunt for Abby? Because we know in the game, Tommy hunts Abby, and then Ellie is kind of hunting Tommy and Abby because she's trying to help Tommy and find him and make sure he's still alive, but also at the same time hunt down Abby. We know that they eventually find each other.
Yeah.
And then that's when like Jesse gets the bullet to the head.
Right.
But they could go a different route on like who's where. But they're obviously going to go that route where people are going to die where they're going to die.
Yeah. It seems like they're not going to change the deaths. Like deaths will stay the same.
And now it seems like season 2 is probably going to end before Ellie's like grown up and goes after Abby again. Because they're going to have that whole like period where Dina has the baby and like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Season 3 is going to be when Abby and Ellie are more grown up and Ellie goes back out there to find her because Tommy's like, you're going to give up. You can't give up now.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I know that there's still a lot of pivotal characters that haven't been casted yet in terms of like the names haven't been released. So that should tell you, what you're saying about where season 3 will start is probably where they're going to start.
And just a small piece of news is about the Academy Awards. So the Academy has put out a new rule for members. They are not allowed to vote on movies unless they prove that they've seen it.
Wow.
Yeah. So they can't vote for nominations unless they prove they've seen it. And we did see like reports come out like members didn't vote for Dune because they're like, I don't want to sit through it.
Right.
So it definitely helps the Academy like figure out like, okay, we need to just get people that have seen the film.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's such an interesting rule.
Yeah.
So basically what you're saying is in order to vote on a title,
right,
you have to prove that you've watched all the movies that are nominated.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you have to see all the nominations before you vote.
I think that's a great rule.
Yeah. Another piece of news is we are all seeing the announcements for Star Wars Celebration, and we got that Ryan Gosling will be in his own Star Wars movie with Sean Levy, and it's called Starfighter.
Yes.
And it's supposed to take a few years after The Rise of Skywalker. Now, this is crazy because we haven't really gotten anything after The Rise of Skywalker, right? Because Acolyte was before.
Right.
Skeleton Crew is also before, I think.
There's been no Disney Plus show or movie, I don't think, that takes place after The Rise of Skywalker.
Right. So it kind of like raises these questions. Are we going to see Daisy Ridley in this movie? Are we going to see any sort of like resurgence in Jedi? I don't know.
Well, they could be lying, but apparently they said that it's going to be introduced new characters. It's not going to be in the same pocket story of Rey. It's going to be its own thing, new characters, new worlds. I'm excited. I think Sean Levy is a great director.
Yeah.
And what he did with Deadpool and Wolverine to have such an ensemble and to create such an iconic movie with all like the pressure around it, he really delivered. And I think having that pressure of Star Wars fans being like, hey, they better be good, I think he's going to deliver. I think it's going to be really good.
Yeah, for sure. And the last piece of news is, we'll put it on screen, but there was an image of Cynthia Erivo behind the scenes of Wicked for Good.
Oh.
Okay. She has her hat on.
Okay.
She has her makeup on, but she's also holding like a little dog.
Oh, so it's Toto?
People are saying it could be Toto,
Which makes sense.
but why would she have Toto?
Because in The Wizard of Oz,
Uh huh.
the witch steals Toto.
Oh.
And then Toto jumps out of like the basket, right, to get away.
Oh,
Am I
interesting.
tripping? I'm so sorry if I'm messing up, but I'm pretty sure the Wicked Witch takes Toto from Dorothy.
Oh, okay. So we're gonna get a lot of Dorothy probably, and then see kind of the connection of Wizard of Oz more, because we really didn't get that in the first Wicked, and it's definitely a part of the second Wicked anyways, because in the first Wicked we just see like Elphaba kind of riding off the horse, and then we see like all the crew of Wizard of Oz going through the Yellow Brick Road. So I think we're definitely gonna get Dorothy and the whole crew in this next one.
Oh, yeah, there's no doubt about getting Dorothy.
Yeah.
Because we see her in the trailer.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. I wanted to talk about the movie Sinners. Yes, there's no doubt that Sinners is the best movie of the year. There hasn't been an original story in a very long time that has really impressed the world the way Sinners has. And we all could go into the movie theater and with the same like expectations and the same hype, and then walk out of the theater and be like, you know what? That was a really good movie. And it was phenomenal. It was just so well done. The cinematography, Ryan Coogler did such a great job with the story and using IMAX cameras. I believe it's the only film that year shot on IMAX cameras. It was just beautifully shot as the aspect ratios change when emotional scenes happen, or just the way he used the aspect ratios to tell the story, I think was truly such a beautiful thing to see in the theater. And there hasn't been a movie in a long time where you're like, oh wow, this is a different experience than I mean, obviously it's different than when you watch it at home, all movies, but this one really showcased the power of using cameras and aspect ratios to really tell a story. Now, there's a lot of question about the post-credit scenes, right? We have two post-credit scenes. We have one where we see Sammy is older. 60 years has passed since the vampire outbreak at the juke joint. So we see Stack and Mary made it through 60 years.
Yeah. And they still look the same.
They still look the same because vampires don't age.
Yeah.
Now, there's one thing that's really odd about this scene. Some fans are speculating that we see Sammy and Stack and Mary, and there's a mirror behind the bar. And in this mirror, as we do, you see a reflection of yourself usually when you look into a mirror. For Stack and Mary, we get it. Vampires never see the reflection, right? But Sammy, you can't see his reflection in the mirror.
Oh.
What does that mean? What does that say about Sammy?
Oh, weird. So did Sammy. Oh, that's interesting.
So why do you think we don't see the reflection of Sammy in the mirror at the end of Sinners?
There's a possibility that like his his father kept saying like, your music is like you're dancing with the devil. Now, is Sammy kind of like a sold soul to the devil possibly, and that's why we don't see his reflection? It's possible because it was like kind of like the whole like religious aspect was like very heavy in this movie. So I think it's possible that they're kind of insinuating that he did sell his soul and he has kind of like this crazy talent because he sold his soul.
That sucks.
It's possible.
That's really upsetting.
Yeah.
That's such a bummer.
I know.
Okay, so here are 3 spin-off movies that I feel Sinners should do.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so at the end of Sinners, the post-credit scene, we see Stack and Mary enter the bar with Sammy, right?
Right.
60 years has passed since the vampire outbreak at the juke joint.
Okay.
That means Stack and Mary had to survive for 60 years being undetected, or just what was their life?
Yeah.
I think that would be a great movie to tell.
Oh, yeah.
Right? What they endured as time progressed.
Right.
A lot has changed in 60 years.
Oh, for sure.
And it'd be really cool to see what Stack and Mary did to survive.
And adapt. Yeah, adapt to like the time period they're in.
Another movie that I think would be really good is a Young Stack and Smoke prequel.
Oh.
Where we see their life when they were gangsters and mobsters, right? When they worked for Al Capone. We also see that they stole the Irish beer in the Italian wine, right? So there was definitely some kind of heist before Sinners.
Yeah.
It would be really interesting to see their life in crime.
Right.
As mobsters.
Like, how do they become a Smoke and Stack?
Right. That would be really cool. And you could have like cameos from like Haley Steinfeld and be Mary still and Annie. So I think it'd be really cool to see that. I also think another good spin-off movie would be Remick. How Remick became a vampire when he came to the U.S. We know that Remick came to the U.S. 20 years before Sinners.
Okay.
So there was a 20-year period where it'd be really interesting to see how he became a vampire, what he endured, right? And maybe we'll have a little more compassion towards the villain.
Interesting.
And kind of understand his story better. So
that would be really good.
Those are 3 spin-off movies that I feel like should be made.
Yeah.
And Ryan Coogler, let's do this. I mean, come on.
Get on it.
The Sinners verse.
Yeah.
That's what we want.
Oh, yeah. I like that.
Now, I also want to talk about Remick. Now, Remick in the movie, we see he wants Sammy really bad.
Yeah.
Right? He sees Sammy playing in the juke joint, right? And he sees like the barn or whatever building burning down, right?
Yeah.
But he still sees everyone dancing.
Right.
Sammy's music ability, we see, is able to like bring his ancestors to
Right.
be in the room.
It's like supernatural.
Right. Future generations to be in the room. And it kind of unifies the culture.
Yeah.
And Remick, I think he doesn't want to eat all the people in the room. I think he actually wants Sammy because he wants to connect with his ancestors, hoping to use Sammy to bring back his ancestors,
Interesting.
to interact with them.
I see.
What do you think about that?
It's definitely possible because it's either that he wanted Sammy to do that or he wanted like, I guess that makes a lot of sense. But we do see when Grace is dancing, we see her ancestors.
Yeah.
So maybe Remick just wanted to be a part of that. It's not like, he probably wanted Sammy to himself.
Yeah.
And he didn't want to give Sammy's power to anyone else. He just wanted it for himself. That was like the whole selfish motive of the villain. Yeah, I think it's definitely possible that he wanted Sammy for his ancestors, like to go back and see his ancestors, have the ability to connect with them.
One subtle Easter egg in the movie Sinners that I really think foreshadows the movie. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen it. We see Stack and Smoke in the beginning.
Yeah.
They're about to go get supplies and they're at their truck. And all of a sudden, there's a snake in their car, the truck.
Yeah.
Smoke then hands Stack a knife, and Stack stabs it.
Yeah.
And when he grabs the snake out, it looks like the snake was bleeding out from his neck.
Right.
The same way that Stack will eventually get killed.
Oh.
So it's kind of foreshadowing what happens to Stack.
Interesting. Yeah, because he got bit right on his neck.
Right. But what's so interesting, too, is that Smoke gives him the weapon that turns basically him into the vampire. What he did with the snake. It's kind of like a subtle foreshadowing moment.
Whoa. That's crazy because that was like really early in the movie.
Yeah, because when you see the snake bleeding out, it looks like what happens to Stack.
Yeah, like he's like the blood's gushing
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
Oh my gosh. That's a good Easter egg.
Yeah.
Now we're moving on to Would You Rathers, and these are Marvel Would You Rathers.
Marvel.
Okay. Would you rather be an X-Men and be hated by everyone or be an Avengers and be controlled by the government?
I'd rather be a mutant X-Men
Yeah.
and be hated by everyone.
Oh, really?
Yeah, screw him.
Yeah, screw them.
You got powers, live it out.
And you have a whole school that loves you.
Yeah.
Avengers, you just got a few people.
Yeah, but I mean, I'd just rather be the X-Men.
Yeah. Okay, would you rather see Hugh Jackman's Wolverine and Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man and Steve Rogers fight Doctor Doom?
Okay.
Or would you rather see Avengers versus X-Men?
Oh, wait a second.
This is a tough decision.
It's tough. But I think I might be able to get best of both worlds if I say Avengers versus X-Men.
Interesting.
Because I think there's a chance that we will see Steve Rogers return and be a part of an Avengers variant team.
But will it be with Hugh Jackman's Wolverine and Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man? You have to make a decision.
Let's go. Screw it. I might get a lot of hate for this, but Hugh Jackman, Steve Rogers,
I think that's a good choice.
Tobey Maguire.
I think that's a good choice. Fine with me. Would you rather have the symbiote suit and slowly lose control of yourself,
okay.
or have Mjolnir, but there's a possibility that you don't prove that you're worthy?
That's tough.
Yeah.
Screw it.
I do think there's a
symbiote suit.
Whoa, really?
Symbiote suit. That's so cool as a kid.
That's cool, but think about this, okay? There's no like risk to reward like in this Thor one, in the Mjolnir one. Think about it. If you don't prove you're worthy every day, right? Okay, you're just a regular human again.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, if you do, you have the power of Thor.
Right.
Symbiote suit, you're gonna lose control no matter what.
But I'll have powers like Spider-Man no matter what.
That's true. Okay. I'm still going with Thor. Let us know what you guys would go with. Would you rather be Iron Man and live the life of Tony Stark?
Okay.
Or would you rather be Batman and live the life of Bruce Wayne?
I don't even have to finish the question. I mean, look at this.
Okay.
Look at my desk.
Really?
What do we got here? Who's that?
I mean, he ends up dying.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll have a good 10 years.
I mean, both. Okay. Think about this. Both lose their parents.
Okay.
Both get their parents killed. They both have money.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like pretty neck and neck. You're just gonna go with Iron Man?
Okay. I'd rather live in Malibu than Gotham City.
Okay. That's valid. Malibu over Gotham.
I mean, come on.
No, yeah, that makes sense. Would you rather be protected by Deadpool or would you rather be protected by Superman?
Superman?
Superman doesn't kill. Deadpool would just kill them and they'll never deal with you again.
You're on to something there.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Obviously, Superman wouldn't drive you insane, but he's also not gonna just go on a rampage and start killing people for you.
Right. As we know, Superman villains always return.
Yeah.
So Deadpool, he could end his villain and I don't have to deal with him again.
Right. But he could just drive you crazy.
But do you think that Deadpool can actually protect me the way Superman can protect me?
See, that's the whole thing. Can he?
Probably not. Probably can't fly me out.
He can't fly you out, but he'll take some bullets for you.
That's true. Let's go Deadpool. Screw it. Okay, moving on to Andor Season 2. Andor Season 2 is currently sitting at a 98% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Wow.
Some critics are saying it's the best Star Wars project they've ever seen in their life.
What?
Credible reporters, too,
That is
saying that.
crazy.
See, what happened was a lot of the reporters and reviewers got the entire season early.
Wow.
So they've been able to review the entire season. Now, a lot of fans have speculated that Star Wars, yes, the first couple episodes are always good, and then it kind of dwindles off. But apparently with Andor Season 2, there is none of that dwindle off. It's really good throughout the whole series.
Whoa.
So, just for everyone who doesn't know, Andor Season 2 will have 3 episodes weekly. Now, every 3 episodes will represent 1 year, and eventually will lead right into Rogue One. So, I think there's a lot of potential, and I'm really excited for it. We haven't seen the show yet.
Yeah.
We saw the first 15 minutes of Season 2,
Yeah.
which was
Phenomenal.
phenomenal. Very good.
Yeah.
But I want to see it, and I'm excited to watch it. We actually had the pleasure of meeting Diego Luna and Adria,
Yeah.
who plays Bix, and we got to sit down and talk with them very briefly. It was very fast,
Yeah.
but we did get to talk to them. Super nice,
Yeah.
and
Super great people.
that's what makes it even better when you know like the actors are really cool people and they're so nice, and you just want to root for them. And to have such a great product in Andor, I'm really excited to see what they do.
Yes.
And I asked Diego Luna if there's somehow Star Wars retconned his death, would he be open to returning? He said it's impossible.
Absolutely impossible. So this could be it.
This could be it.
This could be it.
Star Wars What If show.
Oh,
bring
yeah.
Bring Diego Luna back.
Dude, they need to do that. Star Wars What If. We need that.
I think there was plans to do it.
I mean, you talked about this a long time ago. You see Darth Vader's castle in What If, like on Mustafar, right?
Right.
So come on, Star Wars, let's get it going.
I mean, Star Wars with the Marvel What If art style,
Yeah.
that'd be pretty cool.
That's what I'm saying. We need to do that.
I wonder what they're waiting for. I don't feel like it's a hard show to get off the ground. It's just a bunch of what if scenarios.
Yeah, and you know how many people would want to see What If scenarios in Star Wars? What if Anakin never became Darth Vader? What if he never turned to the dark side?
Yeah. That
Right?
could be a whole show in itself.
Yeah.
And then can you imagine them doing live action movies like that? What ifs?
Oh my gosh.
Dude, what if live action movies would be really good? Standalone movies.
For sure. Even if it was like not a short film, but a shorter film, like an hour 30, like kind of like how old films used to be, right? That would totally work.
Yeah. Well, guys, thank you so much for watching this podcast. Like I said earlier, if you're new to the channel, please smash the subscribe button or tap it or lightly press whichever one you prefer.
Very elegant.
Yeah, and then also hit the thumbs up on this video. If you hit the thumbs up on this video, Iron Man will walk into your house
Whoa.
and give you a high five.
Wow.
But
I would do that.
it might not happen tomorrow. It might not happen next week. But throughout your life, at some point, Iron Man will walk into your house.
Wow.
Give you a nice little high five. Good job for hitting like button kind of thing. But we appreciate it if you do. Also, comment what you guys want us to talk about next week. And we'll see you guys tomorrow on TikTok. And we'll see you guys next week on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube.
See you on TikTok.
God bless you guys. See ya.
Love ya.